AEW is not a legitimate threat to WWE's market share, says Eric Bischoff.
AEW is not competition. No matter how much Tony Khan wants to believe it is, it's not.
Positive outlook for WWE's future now that Triple H is leading the creative team. Becky Lynch is expected to be off WWE. Ronda Rousey was given an indefinite suspension by WWE. Now that Triple H has taken over as the head of creative for the WWE Universe, a new era has begun for Raw. Follow along with us in this video as we discuss the latest developments in WWE, as well as wild new tales and rumors that you need to be aware of, including the possible return of Sasha Banks and Naomi. The injury to Becky Lynch that will keep her out of action for several months, Eric Bischoff's comments on WWE, and much, much more. First, let's start with Eric Bischoff's comment on WWE. During his appearance on Ryan Satin's podcast titled Out of Character, Eric Bischoff debunked the assumption that the decline in wrestling ratings is due to the proliferation of different media outlets by saying the following. "You're making an excuse. That isn't going to fly with me. The product lacks excitement. There is no new information to report. Nothing new has taken place. We're talking about WWE, which is by far the most successful corporation, and the same technique was used up until relatively recently. There is no other option available. No matter how much Tony Khan wants to believe otherwise, AEW is not competition and never has been and never will be. Tony, although you and I work in the same industry, it does not follow that we are in direct rivalry with one another. Tony, you are not gaining market share with your actions. You and I are competing in the same market. Saying that you compete with Arby's is comparable to operating a little mom-and-pop hamburger stand on the street corner," Bischoff said.
You're just in the same business. It's kind of like having a little mom and pop hamburger stand on the corner and saying that you're, in competition with Arby's.
Next, positive outlook for WWE's future now that Triple H is leading the creative team. The episode of WWE Raw that aired on Monday, 1st of August was the first show in which Triple H was in charge of the creative direction in its entirety. Before he left his position with the company, Vince McMahon was responsible for the majority of the programs for the previous week, especially SummerSlam. It was reported that the show would be a statement from the new government before it began, and what WWE had planned wowed the USA Network so much that the first hour of the show was broadcast without commercial breaks. It was stated that even people not at the event felt optimistic about the future, with Triple H in control because there were new matches, more wrestling, stakes on the line, and more women's wrestling included. Also, speaking with a few different wrestlers, it became clear that they have a newfound sense of optimism now that Triple H is in charge of creativity. One of the stars of NXT stated that the fact that Dakota Kai was invited back to be a part of Bayley's new faction was a positive indicator that gives them optimism for the company's future. Two of the most prominent players have expressed their delight at the prospect of not facing the same opponent week after week, and they have expressed their expectation that this trend, which is seen as an important development, will continue in the future. The spots that Ciampa and Mustafa Ali put in so that they could shine on the show garnered a lot of positive feedback from the audience, and as a result, the show received a lot of positive feedback overall. Triple H is also noted for having vision and integrating things that were originally Vince's initiative. This has earned him the praise of the WWE Universe. One good illustration of this would be the maximum number of male models. Next, Becky Lynch is expected to be off WWE as a result of an injury. During Becky Lynch's encounter against Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, she ended up suffering a separated shoulder. Lynch was entering further storylines when Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai attacked her at the backstage during Monday Night Raw, August 1st, 2022. Later, WWE confirmed the news on their Twitter account that Lynch will be sidelined for an extended period. To explain why she will be absent from television for some time, the corporation combined the actual injuries with the attack that occurred backstage. This appears to be a setup for Lynch to get retribution when she returns to television. Here is the official WWE tweet. After suffering a separated shoulder at SummerSlam, Becky Lynch, WWE's injury was further exacerbated after an attack from Bayley, King Coda, and Io Sky early tonight on WWE Raw. As a result, Becky Lynch is expected to be out for several months. We hope that Lynch's recovery from her injuries goes smoothly. Next, Ronda Rousey was given an indefinite suspension from WWE.
Announce attacking the referee! Ronda Rousey is on a rampage!
After Ronda Rousey attacked referee Dan Engler during the SummerSlam event, WWE decided to suspend her from the storyline for a while. In addition, she has reportedly been issued a monetary fine, an undisclosed amount, for her behavior on Saturday night, July 30th, 2022, as stated by WWE. After her defeat at the hands of SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan, it would appear that Rousey has become a villain. As a result of the suspension, Rousey will not be participating in Friday Night SmackDown, WWE said. If this is the truth, then it would be possible for Morgan to start a new feud as a result of this development. It's not uncommon for the plot to be put on hold to provide someone with a break. This may be what's happening here. If you've made it this far and have enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to be entered into our monthly shout-out giveaway. Once you do it, comment "I subbed" down below. This month's shout-out goes out to Wayne Treese. Without further ado, let's get to the most exciting moment. Sasha Banks may return to WWE.
Wait just a minute! The boss is in the house!
Sasha Banks was just withdrawn from a celebrity flag football game with the Los Angeles Rams, who are the defending champions of the Super Bowl. This is another hint that she will be returning to WWE soon. Banks had been marketed on Wednesday under her true name, Mercedes Varnado, as a member of Team Donald for the game that was supposed to take place on Friday. Recent advertisements for her by the Rams can be found below. However, the Rams are no longer listing her as a member of the team. On the other side's roster, she is not included. July 2022, Banks and Naomi booked their first performances outside of WWE at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo, which was held at McCormick Place in Chicago on August 6th and 7th. Both of them used their real identities during their appearances. Although it is currently advertised that the two superstars will make an appearance, this might alter if WWE does not agree to allow them to respect the signings that were made at the event. See you in the next video.